We take people from any walk of life, all parts of society. If someone's got the potential to succeed and we can see it, then we want them. We've got world-class organisations in terms of Commando Training Centre, HMS Raleigh, Britannia Royal Naval College, so we're confident we can take anyone who's got potential.
Virtually every week that we're open, up to 66 young men and women from all around the country, all sorts of different backgrounds, come to join us and undertake 10 weeks of intensive training. And this includes everything from damage control and firefighting to firing weapons for the first time in their lives for most of them, and really rigorous training preparing them for their roles in the fleet.
When we're training people, we need to teach, coach and mentor them in all that we do. That does mean sometimes we have to be hard with them to push them to their limits, but after we've pushed them to their limits, we want to make sure they understand what they've done well, where they need to improve and how they can do better. And by mentoring them and talking to them, we can achieve that. And of course, it's very easy to say teach, coach and mentor, and much harder to do. You'll see it in all the brochures, but we're convinced in the Royal Navy, we do teaching, coaching and mentoring people to be the best they possibly can be.
To land our motorway in order to collect signals.
My name's Lieutenant Sean Hammond. I work for the Royal Navy Leadership Academy and my job role is the Leadership Training Officer for the maritime environment. I'm responsible here really for the leadership development of the young officers that come through and essentially taking all the skills that they've learned throughout their time here and helping them to apply that to the maritime environment. FOST has a much wider responsibility than just sea training, from training submarines, mine warfare vessels to the new carriers to training ashore. Training our new sailors at HMS Raleigh, our Royal Marines at Lympstone, and of course our officers here at Dartmouth Naval College, as well as the next stage of training in all of our shore establishments, to prepare our personnel for their first seagoing units.
We take feedback from ships as they come through training and as they go on their deployments. And as they come back from their deployment, they reflect on what they've done through their generation and operational tasking, and they feedback the experiences they've had, what was good, what could be improved, and we take that feedback seriously and make sure that we remain relevant to the theatres of operations that warships are deploying to maintain the credibility of the training we provide. And making sure that as ships become operational, that we have the right skills to be able to develop the operational capability of those units to the highest standards. Keeping ourselves relevant with new equipment, new technology, exploiting the enormous experience that we have within our staff, and that is our greatest asset, is our people. To a large degree, we're doing the same job now that we did 60 years ago. We're repairing warships by doing a period of operational sea training, taking them from a very basic standard to an advanced standard where they're ready to go and deliver operationally on deployment around the globe. We have international defence training partner nations that have been coming to us for training for a number of years now. The Dutch Navy for over 50 years, the German Navy for a similar period of time. Other navies that we regularly provide sea training to and have done for a long time include the Portuguese Navy, the Danish Navy, the Norwegian Navy.
Well, the Royal Norwegian Navy has been here since 2012 with frigates, but also with Skjold-class FPVs. FOST South, the training down here, gives us a unique opportunity to exercise train. What it actually gives us is an opportunity that we will not have at home at the same scale we get here. The Royal Norwegian Navy and the FOST staff are working together. They have come on board, they are supporting the crew, mentoring and coaching and guidance, and there is a great dialogue, what I can observe.
Living in an island as we do, clearly security and safety on the sea is fundamental to what we do. For me as a submariner, the Royal Navy's primary purpose is the defence of the realm. And it might sound melodramatic, but having commanded a Trident missile submarine, I firmly believe that we are the last line of defence, and that's so important to an island nation. FOST is fundamentally important to the Royal Navy. It's about preparing for operations. It's about preparing our men and women for the stresses at sea. It's about preparing in peacetime for the realities of war. And the better we do in FOST, the more successful we are in operations. That is a fact.
My name's Commander Mike Carter-Quinn. I'm the Commanding Officer of HMS Dragon. HMS Dragon's preparing for a 9-month deployment east of Suez later this year. She's currently undertaking a 6-week package of basic operational sea training as part of a generation process for deployment. The BOSS package is incredibly important, absolutely central to our generation process. I have 227 diverse but professional Dragons all pulling together to make this ship an effective fighting unit. It's a really intense period of training. The ship's company are faced with a huge number of different demands, not least of which is the variety of serials that we have to complete and the range of training. And it requires a certain amount of agility, forward thinking, and more than anything, enthusiasm and real receptiveness to the training at hand. But it also requires the ship's company to be robust. It's an incredibly tiring period, and that's part of the pressure that FOST places under. It's to explore how well we perform when we're tired and at the extremes of our capacity. And it requires everybody to step up. But it also helps us to understand how well we'll be able to perform when we're faced with those very real pressures on deployment. We need to be able to have the confidence to look each other in the eye and know that when faced with the very real threats that we'll encounter as we're deployed, that we'll be able to deal with those in an effective manner, and we'll be as good as we can possibly be. And that's what BOSS delivers to me and the ship's company.